Hi guys, how you doing? This is GC and I'm going to give you a cooking vlog today, and I'm going to show you how to make the traditional Scottish dish of mince and tatties. Now tatties is the Scottish word for potatoes, in case you didn't know that, and mince as it sounds, mince. Okay, these are the ingredients you're going to need. You'll need one chopped onion, some carrots, peeled or scraped potatoes. I particularly have them scraped because I like the skin sometimes gives the mashed potatoes that little bit of an edge. You will need some mince, and you will need some gravy and an oxo cube. Okay, I'm going to get started. I hope you can see me. Right, what I'm going to do is firstly get the cooker on and working. I'm going to take the mince. The mince goes into a pan to get browned off. Okay, if you don't know what browned off means, it means when you get a little bit peeved off at someone. And also it means when you sort of brown off mince is when you put it in the pan and you cook it until it's brown basically, you fry it in its own juices. That's what browning off is. So you brown off the mince, and once this is browned off, you then put in the onions and you fry the onions into the mince in their juices as well. So once we've done that, we then make the gravy and the bisto juice. Okay, so I'll do that once I've browned off this mince. Mince and potatoes, right? Mince and tatties. Now this is a dish that we used to have growing up as kids in Scotland. Now this comes from like the working class days really, if not before that, like right back to like the early 30s, 40s time, and basically it's a simple dish. It's sort of working class food, it's quite good, and it can feed as many people as you want it to. You just increase or decrease the ingredients for less money than what you might think. It's a fairly cheap dish to make and everyone loves it. Not a lot of people might have heard of mince and tatties, but it is an absolutely amazing dish, and it does give anyone who's not familiar with Scottish food a nice little taste of the country as well. So let me just show you this. Okay, now the mince is less it's less pink than it was, and it is actually starting to be a little bit browned off. So once that is fully brown, like I said, I will put in the onions. So I really like cooking. Really, it's quite relaxing for me because I do cook quite a lot, and I love trying to make stuff that I've never made before as well. But even though I do cook as much as I can, doing a dish like mince and tatties is really nice because it's easy and because I just grew up with it, and it really makes me feel like I'm back in Scotland a bit. And my mum taught me to make this a very young age because I think A, because it was easy for me to learn, and B, because we could also make it as well. Just give my mum a day off. Brown it off nicely. Mince and tatties, dish for the family. To make your gravy juice, what we need is an oxo cube, some gravy granules, and you need to boil the kettle. So this is our oxo cube here, and all we're going to do is crumble it into a dish. If you don't have a dish, a jug, glass jug. Okay, and once you've done that, basically you just need to get your gravy granules of any sort. Does not need to be a particular brand, may I add, but the ones I'm using are the best. Oh, the onions are going into the mince. Have a look, have a look, have a look. There's the onions in the mince, and then we just have to mix all this in together. Our mince and onions are together. The potatoes are boiling, like so. Now when you boil your potatoes, you must put a little bit of salt in. It just gives it a little bit of flavouring, and it helps it to boil in the best way. Not too much though, not too much. Okay, now let's do our gravy. Okay, so we've got our oxo cube. Okay, now you're looking at half a pint of water. Half a pint of water with your oxo cube. So you get that stirred and ready. Okay, once you've done that, you take your tablespoon of gravy granules and you put that in with it. Now what you'll find is when you're stirring, it will start to thicken up, but you don't want it too thick. That's why it's only 1 tablespoon. So 1 tablespoon will not make it as thick as it will be by the end of the dish. Okay. So what you're going to do then is put your gravy in with the mince and onions. Nice. We were going to put our carrots in with it. Now, technically, you don't just put carrots in, you should be putting some peas in it as well. Or you can put the peas on the side, it doesn't really matter. However, my fiance doesn't like peas, so I'm not having peas in it. I usually put my peas, cook them separately, and have peas on the side of the dish. And so what we're going to do is let the mince, carrots and onions and gravy simmer in one pan for half an hour, and by that point the boiled potatoes will be ready as well. So let's come back in half an hour. About 15-20 minutes. We've still got 10 minutes left to let these simmer. But while the mince is simmering with all its other ingredients, what I need you guys to do before dishing this up is to get your gravy granules, okay? And you're going to pour just a little bit of gravy in, and you need to stir these gravy granules in to the right thickness that you want your mince to be. Everyone will be a bit different, okay? There's no exact measure, but what you'll find is it now has got a nice thick stewy texture to it, and that's the texture that you're actually looking for. Pepper in the mince, one-handed. Go gourds. Oh no, in this half an hour you can take that time to stand outside in the rain and get wet. You can get wet, you can tidy up the kitchen, you can feed the dog. Those are all the things that I'm going to do in my half hour spare, so that once I've let it all simmer and cook for half an hour, then I'm going to be soaking wet and the kitchen will be tidy in order for me to just dish it up and eat. Okay guys, so it's been half an hour. You've had your mince simmered, you've got your potatoes all boiled. What you have to do then is drain your potatoes, mash them. Then you need to put a tablespoon, heaped tablespoon of butter in with the potatoes. Keep mashing them, mash that through. Once you've done that, you need to get a little bit of milk, pour that in, mash that through the potatoes as well, and then you can serve it up. One half of the plate tatties, and the other half of the plate mince. And there you have mince and tatties. Eat, eat.